Hey, and thank you for clicking play. No, you're not on the wrong channel, or maybe you are. So my channel, if you haven't seen this before, is basically about retro computing, the stuff from my past, like Commodore Amigas, ZX Spectrums, basically any of the systems I had in the past, the games. That's what I tend to cover, that sort of nostalgia journey. But one of the other hobbies I had back then was model railways. Now, no, please don't unsubscribe. Please don't subscribe because you're looking at a train, if you're into trains, because this will be one of very few videos on this topic. But please don't unsubscribe if you're into computers, because obviously that is what my channel will remain to be about. This is just an insert. It's just a bit of a nostalgia journey and an explanation as to why I've picked these particular trains up. So the one you're watching going around now, this actually arrived today. This is a brand new in 2020 Flying Scotsman set that I bought for my dad in the UK. Had it sent to his house during lockdown, and sadly he no longer requires it. So I had it posted back here to myself during my recent trip. And a few extras that come with that are my sister added to the set. So we've got a expansion pack D set with a level crossing, set of points and some curves, and also a railroad Rothery Industries little steam engine there, which is quite nice as well. Okay, now these are obviously not nostalgia items, so let's get these out of the way. The reason why I've also bothered to pick up the other items that were still in my parents' house were because these are items from my childhood. And as you know, I love it when I pick things up that I never let go of, because everything else I'm having to repurchase. The Attack Walker in the background, that's my original, by the way. But yeah. And one that you would have seen on the pickups video while I was in the UK, if you're a regular to the channel, is this. My Intercity 125. Now I can't let go of that, and I can't see if that's really in shot because of where the camera is. But basically, let me see how I can do this. You would have seen it, so I'll open the box. A lot of the polystyrene is missing, as you'd expect. But all the track, I actually managed to locate all the original track. And there's some other little trinkets in there as well. And that's the original 3-car Intercity 125 set that I grew up with. So that's fantastic to have that again. It needs restoration. The engine has seized. So I'll have to take that apart, get rid of the solidified grease, and get that going again. So that's going to be fun. But I'm not going to be doing videos on this stuff. This is just to show you what I picked up and explain why. And the reason why is I never saw myself getting back into retro computers, and I am really enjoying that journey. Please rest assured, nothing is going to change there. But when I was into trains as a youngster, I sort of gave it up for a while, and as you can see, I didn't get rid of my stuff. In fact, let's leave that in the middle there. And the reason I didn't was because I knew I would always come back to it later in life. It's something that I said to myself, well, what I'll do is I will, wait until I've got a house big enough to have a decent setup, and wait until I'm a bit older and maybe slow down a little bit in life. And that's when I will get back into it. Well, we're getting towards that time, guys. It's only a few more years. I'll be 50, for goodness sake. Retirement is the time when I thought it would happen, but that isn't even guaranteed, is it? So anyway, so we've got new stuff here. We've got my original stuff. Another thing from my original collection is this GWR really tatty box. So I'm going to take that out of the box, actually, so you can have a better look. Now, this one was always a really loud motor. I think I bought it actually off one of my friends at school. Let's unlock that. There we go. That's a bit better. And then lock it again. Otherwise, every time the train goes past. But this is a really nice engine. This is one of my favourite styles of engine. But it was always really, really noisy. Yeah, I'm sure I bought it off a mate, or did I buy it brand new? I can't remember. If I bought it brand new, I should have taken it back to the shop because it had always had a really noisy motor. Anyway, that is in dire need of restoration. The motor might even have to replace the motor on that one. Not quite sure, but there we go. What else we got? Original inbox. Here we go. Bit of rolling stock. So that is a just a BP wagon there. I'm gonna have to turn that off. There we go. Yeah, BP freight wagon. Out of box is a Shell one. We've got Shell and BP. Another couple of out of box. I'll just throw these here. Rolling stock. In box still, because I hardly use this, and I think this is a fairly limited edition hover speed carriage. So the only additional passenger carriage I ever had for my Intercity. Let's put that back. That's that engine that my sister got for my dad. And this is quite cool. So this is actually a cleaning car. So you basically put cleaning fluid in it. That gets pulled around the tracks, and that actually cleans the tracks. Doesn't do a very good job, but that was the intention of that. And also still in a very tatty box is a tunnel or a bridge, whichever way you want to use it. Obviously track can go over the top, or you put it, because you've got to have a tunnel for your trains to go through. Otherwise it's just not a train set. So there we go, and the box for that. What else did I bring back? I left my HO stuff, so if you know about trains, you know there's a difference between HO and 00. Not going to bore you with the details. Those that know. The rest of you probably don't need to know. But I did bring back as much additional track as I had. So you got all the track in the Intercity 125 set, which is basically a loop. You've got the track in that expansion pack D set, and all that track over there I have as well. And of course, anybody that knows about model trains knows that you don't even go with set pieces, to be honest. You go with flexi track. Now, there was no flexi track in my parents' loft that I could see, and I probably didn't have a way to bring that back anyway. And the whole idea of flexi track is you buy it in big long lengths and you cut it to shape and size. As the name suggests, it's flexible, so you make your own curves, tack it down onto a hardboard and cut it to size. So that is what I will be doing going forward. So look, that's it. If you ever see another video on trains on this channel, it will be because I've got a proper set up and all tacked down onto a board, and I'm proud of what I've made. Other than that, you're not going to see anything else on trains, so don't worry about it. But yeah, you know, my memories of the train sets, especially my Intercity 125, hanging out with my mate Steve, because he got into it as well. So Steve, I know you watch from time to time. I'll give you a link to this video. But just great memories of, you know, sometimes he'd come around and help me with my layout, or I'd go around Steve's, and he had a fantastic layout in his dad's loft, and we would just sit up there, and this is a really funny combination, but we'd sit up in Steve's loft playing with his setup, and he had a massive setup, lots of different trains, you know, making different layouts, tacking down the track, testing out all the engines, and listening to Acid House. Not even joking. And Steve is one of my friends from back in the Spectrum days. He had a Spectrum Plus 2 and the Amiga days, Commodore Amiga 500. He was the first one among us to get Shadow the Beast, long box. So there's a tie there. It all ties together. It's all about the period for me. It's all about the memories, and it's especially about the friendships and the things that we did together, and the times we had hanging out. So yeah, great memories. So Steve, thank you for the memories, mate. Seriously, thank you. And I look forward to making a really good layout finally in life. All right, thanks guys.